So the other day, I had some errands to do. So I was running around and I drove my car to the tube station and I took the tube into Milan. And it just so happens that while I was on the tube, I came across a friend of mine. Now, she's not really a friend. She's a friend of a friend. She was introduced to me. I know she seemed okay. And we were speaking and she said, you know what? It would be great if we could just sit down and have a chat. Let's go and get a coffee. So I said, okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So we got off in the center of Milan and we started to walk to the coffee shop. And while we were walking to the coffee shop, this woman, she complained about everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. She complained about the weather. She complained about her children. She complained about the kids of today. She complained about the pains that she was feeling. She complained about the diet she was on. She complained about the fact that she hadn't had a holiday. She complained about everything possible under the sun. This woman complained about. Now, don't get me wrong. Every now and again, it's nice to have a good old moan. But this wasn't the time or the place. And more to the point, I was in a good mood and I didn't want to be brought down, right? And she was telling me how all the friends had stopped calling her and she hadn't seen anybody and she doesn't know why because she hasn't done anything. And I was thinking to myself, people probably have stopped calling you because you're miserable and because you're moany. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, as we get older, some of us, we do become that way. But you know what, if you know someone who has become really miserable and has stopped being fun, being around, then maybe you might just want to send them this video. And if you think that maybe you could be one of those people that's starting to be miserable and set in her ways, and you want to see if you had any of these traits, then maybe you too might want to watch this video. Or if you're just interested and you want to know more, then you know what to do. And that is, don't go anywhere. Oh my goodness, nothing sits well with you. It's just like one big moan after the other. Your back hurts, the weather is bad, your kids get on your nerves, the children of today are out of control, you don't like your job. I mean, for crying out loud, we get it, but we all have things in our life that we're not happy with. But sometimes you just have to go with the flow, take the punches and go with it. So we have our own things to deal with. So what makes you think that we want to spend hours and hours listening to you banging on and griping on about all your problems? We don't. We really don't want to hear it. And if the truth be told, we're kind of sick of it. So that's why your friends don't come round anymore. That's why the phone calls have kind of dried up. Listen, I'm just telling you how it is. Because you're not fun and you've become boring. Listen, I'm sorry, but the truth can be spoken. It is what it is. You are so stuck in your ways that it's scary. To step outside your comfort zone, to step outside the box is something that you don't want to hear anything about because it's not happening, you're not doing it. So no one suggests anything new to you anymore because your flexibility stands at 0. Let's go for a pizza. No, I usually eat Chinese on Thursday. Let's go and watch, I don't know, an action movie. No, I prefer romantic comedies. What is wrong with you? You have to shake it up a little bit. I know that you've earned the right to like what you like and do what you want to do. But if you want to have other people around you, sometimes you have to do this little thing that's called a compromise. One day you go and see an action movie, and the next time they'll come and see a romantic comedy with you. One day you eat Chinese, and the next time you eat a pizza. But you can't always expect to do just and only what you want to do and not do anything at all what the others want to do. So if that's what you're doing, if that's what you're acting like, then that's why people don't want to be around you anymore. Now, everyone has an opinion, and sometimes it's nice to hear someone's opinion. And usually, if people want to know what you think, they will come and ask you. What makes you think that you can just jump in whenever you want to, whenever the spirit tells you to, whenever you feel like it? What makes you think that you can just give your opinion on anything and everything that you like? Sometimes people just don't want to hear it. Sometimes people just don't want to know. And that's why they don't ask you. Now, of course, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. But your constant butting in and acting like you know everything and like you have the answers to every problem on the planet, it's annoying. It really is. And that's why people have stopped coming round, and that's why they've stopped calling you. Now, this is one that I personally find very annoying, and that is, there is nothing worse than someone who criticizes everybody all the time. They are so judgmental that it's scary. They will judge your hair, your size, the clothes you wear, the accessories that you have on, where you went to school, what you buy, what you eat, the friends you know, your kids. They will judge everything. And let's be honest, who wants to be around that? Because I don't. Hell no. I really don't. I don't want to hear somebody judging my every move and looking at me and giving me the funny eye, the things I do and the things I eat. No, thank you. And the craziest thing about these kind of people is that they usually are the ones that have the most things that you could criticize them for. So you would think, knowing that, if they are self-aware enough, knowing that, you would think that they would keep themselves quiet and behave themselves, but they don't. They really don't. And sometimes you're there biting your tongue because you want to say something, but you know that you probably shouldn't, because if you did, it would probably cross a line that would be hard to come back from. So you just keep your peace and let them get on with it. Now, it's an ugly trait. It really is. And nobody wants to be around that. And quite rightly so. Who on earth would want to be around that? And it's also annoying because they never put themselves out there, but they will judge you for trying, and they don't try anything. So you know what? Again, what can I say? It's one of those things that people just don't like. People don't like judgmental people. And if you're one of those folk, and if you're like that, you might want to consider things and do something about it. Now, have you ever been around someone that you start a conversation, you're about to tell a story, and that person will just jump in, butt in, and they will take over the whole thing, and they will start telling their story, and you're just sitting there cut off, annoyed and angry. But you know what? You're too tired and you just can't be bothered to fight. How annoying is it? Because you cannot finish a sentence without these people hijacking your whole conversation. Tell them that you went to the doctors and they will jump in. Oh yeah, I went the other day and guess what happened? And they tell their story. You talk about your holiday and they jump in because their holiday was better. You talk about your kids and they will jump in and tell you how wonderful their kids are and what they're doing. Cannot finish a sentence around these people if your life depended on it. And yeah, you got it. It's irritating. Of course it is. It's frustrating and irritating. And if you're like that, if this is what you're doing, stop. Because this is one of the reasons why people tend to not want to be around you and why they don't like you anymore. So you've been through a divorce, or you've just broken up, or you've been on your own for a while, and now you're ready for a new love story. But because all of her relationships have been toxic, and all the men that she's ever dealt with all mistreated her, now she's bitter. And she wants to tell you and make out that you're foolish because you want to find love again. They will tell you not to bother. What's the point? He's not going to love you anyway. And if you do meet someone, they're going to try and convince you that he's cheating on you, that you can't trust him, that there's something wrong with him. Don't listen to her. Now, the thing is that she could even be right in certain things. But the truth is, the things that she's telling you is not coming from a place of love. It's not because she wants to protect you. She just doesn't want to see you happy because she has never found happiness. People like this, the things that they say should be taken with a pinch of salt. And really, they're not really people that you really want to hang around. So if you're doing this, this is why people tend to stay away from you, because it's not really nice. Is there really anything more annoying than someone who thinks that they know everything? They will always know more than you. You want to buy a car? Oh, they know the best place to go for the best deals and the best price and the best car that you should be driving. You're feeling a bit under the weather and you're not quite sure what's going on. Oh, she knows exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is and what you should be taking and what you should be doing to solve the problem. These people have PhDs in everything except minding their own business, of course. These people, no matter what their education, no matter what their background, they will always know more than you. And these people, I try to avoid because it's one of those traits that really rubs me the wrong way. So yeah, it's best if I just stay away from people like this altogether. I'm just saying. There are those older ladies that as they get older, they start to feel overlooked and they start to feel invisible. And because of that, they harbor a certain hatred towards the younger people because they're jealous of the younger people. They're jealous of their youth, their beauty, and the opportunities that they might have. But the truth is that you were young too once, right? You had your chance. If it didn't work for you, that's really sad, and I'm sorry about that. But you can't take it out on the young. It's their time now. Leave them alone to shine. Now, there are those, and it's not just the older woman that might act this way, but there are quite a few of us that the older we get so self-absorbed that we think that everything is about us. There are those that will call you up and they don't even ask you how you are and how your day went and what you're up to. They will just start rattling off what they're doing because, one, because they're selfish, and two, because they actually think that you care and that you want to know, and because what they're doing is obviously far more important than anything that you could possibly do. I personally think that these people need a good dose of reality, and they need to realize that no, it's not all about you. We don't care. We have a life too. I mean, do you mind? We actually have a life too. So no one really cares about what you're doing and what's up. So get a grip. Now, this last one, again, is not just a trait of the older woman. But when you hear someone come up to you and the voice lowers and they say, have you heard what happened to so-and-so? Then you know that the gossip is about to start. And let me tell you something, there's no point lying. All of us, every now and again, a little bit of gossip, we don't mind. We don't mind hearing stuff, right? Every now and again. But when you know that one person, that they only bring the gossip, ooh, it's ugly. It's not a pretty trait to have. They will talk everybody's business. And as a consequence, you know that you can't tell them anything, because the same way they talk about Mary to you, you don't think that she will go to Mary and tell Mary about you. So of course you have to keep your stuff to yourself. So yes, a gossip is someone I try to stay far away from, because they can't be trusted. And if I can't trust you, then how much of a friend can you really be? So there you have it. These are the things that keeps people away from others, especially as we grow older. Drop me a comment down below and let me know if you have friends who are like that. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and it costs you nothing. Thank you so much for stopping by. It was great seeing you. It always is. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. But until then, be kind to yourself and to others. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao.